told me it's gone. Let me down easy, since you feel to stay is wrong.
Yo, this is Satchel Page, and right now you're listening to the Real Hip Hop Show with my man DJ Modesty. Word up, God represent that real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mess with him. This is Satchel Page. Who is Satchel Page? I mean, Satchel Page is a lot of people. Satchel Page is a father. You know what I'm saying? Satchel Page is a guy that works hard. You know what I'm saying? Satchel Page is a brother. You know what I mean? And I'm a dude that know how to rhyme. So in my music, I really put all of those aspects of my life, and I just put it down on paper. Everything I rhyme about is all me. I don't tell no fairy tales or, you know, try to portray to be the hardest. I'm a dude who concentrates really on the skill and really the lyricism of the music, and I take it from there. So Satchel Page is really just you, your brother, that dude next door. You know what I'm saying? I try to tell my story from the aspect of a person, everyday person that's living out here trying to work 9 to 5, that got to put up with bullshit, that got friends that, you know, just cool out, but I do it poetically, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, how long I've been MCing? I would say it seemed like my whole life, to tell you the truth, because I've been MCing more years than I haven't been. You know what I'm saying? I just put it like that. I started at the age of maybe like 13, and I'm 40 years old right now, and I ain't ashamed to say it. So you do the math on how long I've been MCing. Oh man, the era when I started MCing is really what is the foundation of what you see now on MTV Raps and stuff like that. I grew up in Southside Queens. For all y'all who don't know, it's an area in New York City that in the early 80s, man, it was like when you hear veterans talk about this thing being a culture, it really was a culture for us. I mean, our era was jams, the park jams. You know what I'm saying? You hear people talk about the park jams. That's where really I started rhyming. Because early on, I was a break dancer. You know what I'm saying? I used to break dance and everything like that. And I had a cousin. Big shout out to my cousin, DJ Jesse James. He was like a real popular DJ in the neighborhood, known for throwing jams. Jams, for y'all who don't know, for a lot of y'all youngins, is when we all got together in the park. Just imagine dudes in the park. You had your break dancers, you had your graffiti artists, you had your girls, you had your shorties, you had your drug dealers, you had everybody gathered into this one park. You had the music playing, you know what I'm saying, and then about when the nighttime come, the DJ would be playing music all during the day. Then when the nighttime come, that's when the MCs put on a show. And me being from Southside Queens, man, it was a lot of dudes at these jams that went on to be, you know, become real famous. I mean, it was people like Ed Lover. You had people like Irv Gotti. Of course, you had LL Cool J, Lost Boys. You had Onyx. You had all of us all in this one park, one area, and the energy from that park would be unbelievable. So as an MC, early on, that's why any New York MC that's from back in the days, we know how to rock a party, because at this one jam at any time it could be thousands of people, and we young at this time. And like I said, when I first grabbed the mic, I will finish that story. My cousin DJ Jesse James, you know what I'm saying, he had a couple of MCs called the Albino Twins, and they were real popular out in Queens. And I used to always go to the jams with them, and I used to be the one to carry the albums and the crates of records for them and stuff, you know what I mean? And he was the first one that put me up front with hip hop, you know, from the aspect of I used to be behind the ropes and I used to have status because I'm with the DJ. So I used to always break dance and see the albino twins rock. One day, my cousin introduced me. I was like 13 at the time. He introduced me to this 15-year-old kid from Farmers Boulevard. At the time, nobody knew him. His name was LL. Matter of fact, he was just calling himself Cool J. And I was like 13. I'll never forget this day. And my cousin was like, yo, this dude is crazy on the mic. And I had always, at this time, I'm talking about like early 80s. You know what I'm saying? Most MCs it was a lot more of the party rock and, you know, hosting the crowd type thing. LL was the first person I heard live that was just spitting that fire. It wasn't no throw your hands in the air. It was lyrical, it was intellectual, it was just came from another zone, and it really, as a 13-year-old, when I heard him, it really blew me away because I had never heard the mic being ripped in that fashion because, you know, this was like something totally new to me. At the time, it was new to everybody. So when I heard LL, and then when I used to go to different park jams with my cousin and see the faces when LL got on the mic, the faces would be looking just like I was the first time I heard him. So LL, at that, I was about 13, he was about 15. When I heard LL, that's the first person that put the battery in my back to say, man, I want to be a rapper. I don't want to do this breakdancing no more. This hip hop shit is where it's at. Oh man, as a Queens MC, of course most of my influences are from my local neighborhood growing up. But outside of Queens, I mean, my biggest influence in the world, like a million other MCs, you know what I'm saying, is Rakim. You know what I'm saying? That's Strong Island in effect. Really, all New York MCs are my influences. But, I mean, I think outside of New York, not just Queens, I really was digging NWA when they came out with... I wasn't feeling NWA really until they came out with Niggas for Life. That's when I really got up on them. And because... that they just came from another angle, you know, with it. That real angry angle was just all new to us, you know what I'm saying? So when they came out at that time, New York MCs, we was really on the consciousness and the Black Power, and they came out, and at the time, really their music was conscious too. It really, a lot of people think it was just gangster, but it was conscious gangster, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely dug NWA. And like I said, I'm really kind of going outside of New York because really all of New York, because I've been all over New York, not just Queens. So all of New York MCs influenced me in some way or another. But outside of New York, I like I said, NWA. I was definitely a Scarface fan. You know what I'm saying? I was definitely, I like Ludacris a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But that's about it, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a whole bunch of others, but I like everybody who keep music to their heart, you know what I'm saying? My man Father D just walked up in the house, you know what I'm saying? We're up here in the lounge, by the way. This is where we vibe out. I'm waiting for my man Neek The Exotic to come through, you know what I'm saying? We're going to vibe on some music and stuff, so that's what we do. We put it down right here. This is where it all takes place at. I got so much good memories in hip hop, but actually, I won't even do an old one. One of the most memorable times that I can remember that really stood out is like my history. I tell y'all a little something about it. I started this game, like I said, a long time ago. My name was GLT, and I was like one of the first dudes my age to really be able to rock the mic at the jams that I talked about earlier in front of a lot of people. I mean, I shared the mic with Queens legends like Grandmaster Vic, shout out to him, like the Boss Crew, shout out to them, Chili D, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hip-hop legends that influenced a lot of what you see right now. And I quit when I got about 25 because I just got tired of the game, you know what I'm saying? The game was like really getting real commercial, and me as a real street MC, it really didn't sit right with me. Plus, you know, as you start getting older, you start getting on more responsibilities. So I kind of took a hiatus and I chilled away from the game, and you know, started a business, started a family, got married, did all that type of thing and stuff. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, I would say, the urge kind of started really hitting me. You know what I mean? I started getting that hunger back for some reason to get back on the mic. And getting back after being out so long, you have doubt in your mind. And so I was doing my music, really not even letting people know that I was doing it and stuff, and making little CDs, but I was getting positive feedback when I did let people hear it. So gradually I started getting more and more back into it. Linked up with my man Neek The Exotic and Large Professor, because I hadn't been, like I said, these brothers I've known for years, but I hadn't been in the game, and I've been out of sight for a while, but I linked back up with them. And just so happens that they was getting ready to do a show. It was the Zulu anniversary. And Large Professor, you know, he just came up to me out of nowhere and was like, yo, might need you to kick a little freestyle during our show. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first time that I'm really, you know, out there at a show like this. This is SOBs, you know, or yeah, I think it was SOBs. It was the Zulu anniversary. And show went on. What I did was a freestyle off of Live at the Barbecue. And after I did the freestyle, I went back down, and you know, I'm all excited because the crowd really, you know, was positive. I'm looking at the people's faces, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of told myself that without coming back, I do really have what it takes, you know what I'm saying? But what I remember about that day is when I went down into the basement, Cool Herc, you know what I'm saying, came up to me and was like, yo brother, you got an arsenal. I ain't heard dude spit like that in a while. And I was looking like, wow, that was Cool Herc, you know what I mean? The Godfather who started all of this, giving praise to me. So that right there is one of my, maybe the best. Remember, I was like, if I don't hear nothing else, I know that Cool Herc thought that I was hot. Oh man, my top 5 MCs, Rakim #1, Coogee Rap #2, Big Daddy Kane #3, KRS-One #4, and #5, Nas. I gotta say Nas. And you might definitely Rakim #1. I might give a little, I might put Nas a little bit. Nah, I'll keep it like that. Yeah, that's my top 5 MCs. Top 5 producers, I would say is well, I ain't gonna put no order on these. Top 3 to me is Premier, Large Professor, and Ayatollah. That's my favorite producers right there. Top 3. The other 2 I like Lord Finesse, and I like Marco Polo. I like Audible Doctor. I like a lot of the new cats that's coming out. So those are my top 4. The rest, the top 5, you could throw audio. Lord Finesse, yeah. Well, I worked with Large Professor and Ayatollah. Both are people that I've known for a long time. So what's cool about it is more than just a business thing. When you know I did work with them. Ayatollah, like I said, a lot of Ayatollah and Large, they all knew me as GLT. That's the name I used to go by back in the days. And when they heard that I was back doing it, when I did do it at GOT, I ain't gonna lie, pat myself on the back. I had a lot of respect for the skill level that I had for back then. It's like a lot of people put me in a real high level when it came to who they compared me to. So when I was back, a lot of people was interested to see, damn, I wonder if he could still approach that kind of level, you know what I'm saying? And when I did link up with Ayatollah, he had been hearing my name, Satchel Page, but he never knew that Satchel Page was me. That was the name I was going by now. So when we linked up, it was like, wow, once he heard that I was back and I was doing it and I was getting it at a high level, I had already had songs from his beats, just from his instrumentals that he used to put out. And when I let him hear them, the things that I was doing to his music, he was like, yo, let's do an album, man. And I owe a lot to the brother because he called Ralph McDaniels when we did the video right as we was doing it, and got Ralph McDaniels to play the video. Really looked out for me. So I told I owe a big thanks to, just for believing in me and stuff, and as well as Large Professor. When I ran up with him and Neek The Exotic, they was doing their album. They put me on one of the records, and just when they was doing shows, gave me an opportunity to rock in front of mega crowds. I mean, I rocked at the Apollo, SOBs, BB Kings. I mean, just all the major joints in New York. And like I said, that's big up to Large. But both of them, as far as working with them, I like to see, whenever I work with somebody, I take a little from them. And Large, when he's in the studio, what I take from him, he's very meticulous. Like Large will go over every single, sound and critique it and make sure everything is like perfect. So I take that from him as far as the diligence that he puts into the studio work. As far as Ayatollah, his creativity is just off the hook. He takes a lot of chances with his beats, and when he's first doing it, it may sound crazy, but then when you hear it at the end of the day or the next day, it's like, wow, I can't believe that it came out like that. So I definitely owe a big thank you to Large Professor for what he did for me, and to Ayatollah. Boom bap, what they call the boom bap style of producing, that's my era. So, I think it's all in how the MC flips it. That's what I love. I love the samples. I love because it keeps that old sound alive. The reason why a lot of our older parents, when we was doing it at a younger age, they liked our records because we used a lot of records they were familiar with. We just put our twist on it. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of bridged the gap between the older generation and the younger generation. So I love the producers that still search through crates and crates of records and find that one little second, and from that one little second they make a whole record. Like, to me, that's an art. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with that. That's the era I grew up in. Definitely in Europe is, we definitely where that actually, y'all in Europe is more acceptive of the style of music that I do. You know what I mean? Y'all really are into that original hip hop sound, and y'all provide an outlet for us to, and a clientele for us to perform for and to sell for and all that, because even more so over here, y'all young generation is really into the real hip hop, and we appreciate that. So we definitely conscious of the effect or the style of music that y'all are into. Word up. Right now, well, I dropped that album produced totally by Ayatollah. It's called Young Patriarch. You know what I'm saying? You can get that on iTunes, Amazon.com. It got features. It got a jam called Sweet 16 I did a video for. That's on YouTube. And that features my man Sadat X, Neek The Exotic, Mikey D, my man Father D, you know what I'm saying, and myself and Ayatollah on the beat. And go pick that up. It's a hot album, classic album. If you like that boom bap hip hop, you know that's what it is. Young Patriarch. I got a mixtape also called Beats, Bass, Lines, and Rhymes, and that also has a couple of features. Got Sadat on it, got Neek on it, it got Verbal Harassment on it. Big shout out to my man Kurt Digger, my man MC Lotto. Got my little cousin Dex on it, you know what I'm saying, my man K Mel. Got a few features on it. It's called Beats, Bass, Lines, and Rhymes. Free mixtape. You can get that on thatpiff.com, you know what I'm saying. It's all live instruments, but it's live instruments of the old jams that, you know, we all fell in love with. It's just my different spin on it. It's definitely a riding type joint, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm on Neek The Exotic Still on the Hustle album, on the jam called Toast Tonight. And you can YouTube us doing that, performing that all over New York City. Got me and Neek, like I said, I'm waiting for my man Neek now. We about to start working on his joint. So 2012 got a lot of different stuff happening. So. Man, big shout out to the Kings from Queens mixtape part 2. Me and my man Neek is definitely on it. We got a fire jam on it called Get My Weight Up. Definitely an honor, and you know, thanks to my man DJ Modesty for reaching out to the brothers and letting us rock with them. So we definitely put it down for that, and it's definitely a great concept because, you know, Queens got some real fire MCs. So looking forward to that project for 2012. Definitely plan on trying to get out to Europe. Like I said, our music basically is really more cherished out there than it is over here. So any promoters out there that's looking and listening, trying to book Neek The Exotic Satchel page, you know what I'm saying, you can hit me at Satchel Twitter, Satchel page, you know what I'm saying, Facebook, Satchel page. Hit me on those two, and let's work, man. Let's get this money. Word up. Big shout out to my man DJ Modesty, the Real Hip Hop TV show. You know what I'm saying? 2012, we're going to do big things. You know what I'm saying? To my man Big Hands TV. You know what I'm saying? Lounge TV. We up in the lounge right now. Like I said, this is where we do it at, where we vibe at. And One Love Satchel Page 2012. DJ Modesty, Kings from Queens. Get that mixtape when it drop.
1, 2, yeah. My man DJ Modesty. Yes. This is Satchel Page.
Neek The Exotic.
Kings from Queens.
How we do?
And let's get this started. I'm getting my weight up. That bullshit I'm on is finally getting me paper. I'm getting my weight up.